When I did my research for this video, I was impressed to find this graph on Google Trends that clearly shows that the words mental health is important were not really searched until 2020. As a consequence, the pandemics impacted people's mental health, and some of them are still dealing with it. So today I want to talk about what your mind can do and how this process happens. Your conscious mind is the tiniest portion of your being. It represents only 12% of your total mind, and the thoughts that happen in there can cause huge damages. My goal for this video is to clarify how your thoughts impact your mind, your emotions, your well-being, and your mental and physical health. Let me share an interesting fact with you. You have thousands of thoughts per day, and according to some researches, more than 90% of them are repetitive. So basically, your mind is like a broken record that keeps playing the same music. And you learn through repetition. So every time a thought repeats itself, it reinforces and solidifies a neurological connection in your brain. You can see that clearly happening because of the pandemics. As people were fed with ideas that made them feel fear and anxiety for such a long period of time, some of them are still having difficulties to change this state of being. The more you repeat something, the more that gets ingrained on you at the point of becoming part of your identity. And by the way, habits work exactly the same way. So you can consider certain thoughts as if they were a habit that you have until you do something to change them. If you don't do anything, they'll keep playing in autopilot. Your thoughts play a big role on pretty much every aspect of your life. Your actions, emotions, perceptions about the world and people, the way you feel, your energies, and your health on both levels, mental and physical. I don't know if you know, but you have 7 bodies and the physical is only one of them. 4 of them you can become aware while you are still here in human form. They are the mental, emotional, astral, and physical bodies. The other 3 exist in much higher levels of consciousness, and they are pertinent to your soul and to the totality of all that is. All these bodies are connected, and what happens in one affects the other. For you to understand the importance of your mental body, I'll use a quote that describes the creator and the creation. The creator had a thought, and the thought started to think. Your thoughts are responsible for the vast majority of your problems because all the creation starts there. Your thoughts create emotions. If you don't believe what I'm saying, you can do a test. Choose a situation that you regret in your life and talk to yourself in 2 different ways. On the first one, blame yourself for being naive, stupid, incapable of dealing with the situation, and so on, and pay attention to the anger you'll feel growing in your stomach. On the second one, be gentle and say nice things to yourself, like you did your best, you learned from it, next time you'll do better, and you'll notice a pacifying feeling arising inside you. I can assure you that most of your emotions come from your thoughts and the way you choose to perceive things. Yes, I said you choose, because whatever happens in your life doesn't come with a meaning. You have the choice to perceive it as positive or negative. Look at the pandemic. Same situation, different reactions. Some people enjoyed the lockdown while others struggle with it. If you didn't choose consciously, your subconscious did it for you. Usually people don't know they have a choice about how they perceive and react to things, or they don't know how to control it. And the answer is quite simple. Your mind chooses for you. Either you control your mind or it will control you. A lot of people talk about mental illnesses as being genetic, and many of them are, but your thoughts will determine how they will affect you. Let me share this with you so I can give an example about everything that I'm talking today. Without knowing what I was doing, I cultivated depression in my life when I was around 11 years old. I used to lock myself in my bedroom and listen to sad music so I could sink into my sadness. I trained my brain to think negatively, and after a couple of years, that became part of my personality. Over the years, the depression only got worse, and with it, I developed many self-destructive behaviors. It took me 15 years to reach the point in my life where I said to myself, enough, I cannot live like this anymore. That's when I started to study spirituality so I could understand my existence. The more I learned, the more my thought pattern changed, which improved drastically my mental health and my state of being. Nowadays, I sit with my pain and I identify which thoughts are hurting me. Once they become clear, I work to defeat them, because now I know that if I allow them to stay, they will solidify and become part of my identity, and I don't want that. I've done this mistake in the past, I'm not doing it again. So please be careful about what is happening inside your mind. Look at it as a garden. Choose wisely the seeds that you are planting in there because they will grow. And if you don't know what you're doing, you might end up with a lot of weeds, and it is hard to get rid of them later. Getting back to the four bodies that I mentioned before, mental, emotional, astral, and physical, usually the sequence works like this. The way you think affects your emotions, which in turn impacts your energy or astral body, and your physical body only reflects what is going on in the other three. This is just a map to help you to track the problem and locate the source. Of course, I cannot affirm that all diseases follow exactly the sequence: mind, emotions, energy, and body. Some people go through a trauma when they are still very young, and this gets stored in these bodies, and later in life it becomes a disease. What happened to Louise Hay is a good example. She was sexually abused when she was a teenager, and she had cervical cancer when she was 50. I just want to bring to your awareness how all these bodies are connected and affect each other. Even science has some researches about how your state of being impacts your immune system. Your thoughts can cause mental and physical illnesses. I'm sure you heard about the placebo and nocebo effect and the psychosomatic diseases. All of them happen in the mind. The same power you have to create a disease, you also have to heal it. I'm not saying that's something easy to do. I'm just saying that's much easier to nip the evil in the bud than cutting down the whole tree afterwards. I hope I helped you to understand why it's so important to be careful about what is going on in your thoughts and the stories you keep telling to yourself. To practice mindfulness is very important, and to develop the ability to control your thoughts will help you to avoid bigger problems in your life. On my next video, I'll be sharing some practical ideas about how you can cultivate a healthy mind. If you want to watch, keep an eye on this channel. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.